Okay, let's move on to the bowling one. This one had a happy ending.
Yeah.
Really wasn't expecting that from the show. Other than the intro, nothing really seems like it should be happy in this show.
They come up with very creative ways to like punish people in a sense, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the very first episodes, I feel like it was going to be like an anime reincarnation of Saw.
Yeah, you guys did mention that.
Yeah. But even in like the detective episode where after a while when they're playing air hockey, it's fine. But then they link their nerves and link their senses to the hockey puck and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And if your opponent scored on you and it ended up being like one of the body parts that's marked on the hockey puck, that body part ended up taking damage.
Yeah.
So it
same thing with the dart one in the first one.
But in episode 3,
it was weird that the bowling didn't have anything like that. Like their heart was in the ball.
I think it was because I don't know if I felt like from the beginning that you knew that they both were going to go to heaven. It was just like, oh, I just want to feel this like I'm holding this person's heart in my hand. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I felt like that's what it was. I don't know, because there was no damage to it. I don't know. That's what I got from it. It's like, especially the whole beginning. Oh, it's they made it so extra.
I feel like when I first watched it, I was thinking that there's gonna be something like sinister to it, like
when you bowl, the pins will crush the heart of the.
Or no, just I didn't think that it was gonna be a happy ending. I thought like one of them would be like a stalker or something. And I don't know what that has to do with the heart, but since they're around the same age, it's like, why would they be in a situation together where they both died at the same time?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I didn't think it would be just a normal bus crash.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
All this stuff is interesting. Like aside from episode 3 and the bowling one where they both end up being reincarnated. Like most of this show seems kind of dark and also pretty interesting. Like I don't know. We've only watched like 5 episodes. Aisha's the only one here that's seen the whole thing.
And he has too.
Okay, so you two have seen it in its entirety.
But
like,
I think
you know.
I'm sorry to cut you off.
But not to give away a spoiler, but like, do we have any more episodes that's going to be kind of like episode 3, where it's kind of a peaceful ending?
I think what I was going to say was episode 3 is peaceful, but it is needed in a sense because the arbiter doesn't have feelings. So seeing that sentimental, that nice, like, I want to go on a date with you. We're dead, but I want to go on a date with you, and I want to sit here with you for like an hour and talk with you and get to know 5 minutes. Like seeing that's giving him emotion. That's giving him love. That's showing him what humans are. So I think episode 3 is an important episode. I mean, no, the rest of the episodes aren't like episode 3.
No.
But there is an episode with a young boy and then a grown man, and you're like, what happened here? Like, you don't know. Like, you want to go for the innocent young boy. You want to root for him. So, it's, I don't know. Like, you see that peacefulness, but episode 3 is the only peaceful episode.
Okay.
So, but you need that peaceful episode because that's how he's getting his emotions. That's how he's going to help in the long run.
Okay.
Because when we made it to episode 8, he's like, I can't even judge from words anymore. I want to see what your actions are going to do. And he gives that guy the knife, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, I the whole episode 3, I think it taught him emotions, but I think episode 8 and 9 taught him about human emotions even more. Mm-hmm. How can one emotion lead to another? Like, he cared for his sister that much, he went to kill somebody, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, like, in his quest for revenge and things of that nature, thought that taught him a lot about emotions as well. Another interesting character that I have no idea about is that girl that just showed up in episode 2. In episode 2, not the short one, the one with the black hair. Episode 2.
Oh, her. Yeah, I feel
like the arbiter's assistant kind of.
Oh, that one. Yeah, I feel like
because she seems very human. She has emotions. She's trying to.
I feel like she actually was human at one point.
She probably is, but I mean, like, I don't know. She's an interesting character as well. Like,
she's not like the others.
Yeah, what's her role? Yeah, and has she just not activated her eyes yet?
Sharingan.
Yeah, Sharingan.
Do you want to get a little bit more into the episode that you really wanted to watch and really wanted to talk about?
What, 8?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So episode 8 is about, we see a detective and a young man walk in, and they get a call from headquarters, I guess, in a sense. And headquarters says, oh, one of them is a murderer. And then right off the bat, I ask you guys, like, who do you think is a murderer? And
I thought it was the young guy.
yeah.
I was technically right.
And you were technically right.
Wasn't it both?
But both of them are
Yeah, both of them
murderers,
are murderers.
in a sense. But one just murdered the other there. So,
Oh.
yeah. So it was kind of interesting with that, too. So how'd you guys like it?
I liked it. That one was definitely the most.
It was really interesting. I did like it.
Yeah, that one was definitely the most. I think that was the episode that I played inside the gray area the most. There's no black and white.
Yeah.
It definitely played inside the gray area. Especially with the whole scene where the detective saw the kid's sister
Like,
being assaulted.
Yeah.
And he didn't do anything at the time. And his reasoning for it was because he wanted to put him away for good or get rid of him for good. Mm-hmm. And he needed the assault to actually occur in order for that to happen.
Right.
Yeah, you can't put someone away without a victim.
Exactly. Exactly. So, I mean, like, that's an interesting... that's an interesting take on that. Like, he could have stopped it, but the guy's just going to do it to somebody else.
Free.
You know what I'm saying? He's going to be free and do it to somebody else. And then you kind of have... That somebody else could have been... Like, that somebody else could have had a brother as well, and he could have been in that same situation. You know what I'm saying? So.
And then the detective himself did the same thing with his wife's killer. He murdered his wife's killer, and then he just felt like Batman in a sense. Like, I need to go get all these scums off the road, and yeah.
He looked like a much more evil Batman, though.
Yeah.
Like you saw him at the very end, where he was basically going insane.
Yeah.
Cynical. Both of them were going insane.
They were.
Especially when he stabbed, because I guess you can't kill anybody when they're dead, but you can torture them in this area. So, like he was talking about with the pucks, each puck had a different organ or body part on it, and the kid, like she said, like the arbiter wanted to see his actions, and he wanted revenge because he didn't stop the man from assaulting his sister, so he went and he stabbed every single one of the pucks, and like at the end he smiled, he enjoyed it, he got his revenge. So I mean, both of them kind of seemed to hit the crazy route.
Yeah. Like, I feel like both of them in the end ended up going to the void because
It did. It only showed the...
Like, I didn't see the very end of it, but...
Oh, it only showed the devil's head, so...
Okay.
Yeah, both of them ended up going there.
So, yeah. It's kind of interesting because, like, you're rooting for somebody and then along comes someone else and you're like, man, maybe I shouldn't root for this person.
True. I also think it, like, shows that, like, not everybody doesn't always start off as evil. There's something that happens.
That's what I wanted to ask you guys. Do you guys think that there was a point where it changed, where they were both on like a justice track, and then it just went to the left?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Especially with the detective. Although his logic isn't wrong. Like, you do need a victim in order to put somebody bad away.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, both of them going about and killing their, like, one sister's assault person and then the other one's wife, going and killing those two people is probably not the best way to do it either. But like, I felt like it definitely shows that there's like certain things, like you can take an advantage of certain things in a person's life and it'll change a person. So
yeah, I thought it was interesting that they both turned into the same person in the end. Like, they both were going to kill the assaulter, but then one of them just came too early and they killed the other. So it's just interesting.
I don't know. There's like so many wheels turning in my head right now. But like I guess one of the things I wanted to address is like with you saying like how eventually how they at one point were on the path to justice and then just ended up going mad or doing something completely different. Whereas like I don't like like thinking of like light and dark or good and evil as complete inverse and opposites, where they're on two ends of a spectrum and one has nothing to do with the other.
Yeah.
I often think of them as two sides of the same coin, whereas like there's a very fine line between what happens.
For instance,
for instance, a lot of times what determines whether an action is good or evil can sometimes be the motive. Mm-hmm. And there's another quote that I hear frequently, and I heard my dad say. Sorry, I heard my dad say it a little while back, where it goes, "We judge ourselves by our intentions, and other people's by their actions."
Yeah.
And I feel like this series often touches on that a lot, where you can relate to them, but at the end you say okay, what they did was wrong, but there are scenarios in our lives where we have done something wrong, but we still end up trying to see ourselves as inherently a good person.
Mm-hmm.
But painted from somebody else's perspective, we could be a very evil person.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, how do you guys feel about that?
Well, I just want to pose this question. Do you think there's certain lines that shouldn't be crossed? Because they both went and killed people. I feel like no matter, I don't know.
Bad people.
They did kill the bad people, but to kill another human being, to take another human being's life, it takes a lot out of you.
It does.
You gotta it changes you. It even showed in he went to the bathroom and threw up. He was like, I can't believe I did this, and then
he was ready to do it again.
But again,
I feel like it wasn't necessarily. I don't think he was necessarily ready for it. I think he just kind of I just need to get this over with.
But again, that's one of those things where the difference between good and evil can be dependent on circumstance. And for instance, if somebody kills another person in self defense, and you determine that it can't be avoided, is the person who killed the other person a bad person?
No, I see that, but in this situation,
but you're saying do you think there's certain lines that shouldn't be crossed?
But I'm saying specifically,
actions, or are you saying because of intent?
I'm saying in this.
So are you saying he shouldn't have done it because he was? I'm sorry.
If he's going to kill someone
because of revenge, or
because of revenge, because of what happened to his sister.
Yes.
What?
Wait. Yes to what?
That doesn't answer.
What?
That doesn't.
No, I couldn't get my words out. So.
I apologize for that.
So it's all good. I was just saying, in this certain instance, there was no self-defense. He just went out and killed the other person. Do you think... I understand that, the whole idea of it being light and dark are on the... It's... They're two... They're not, separate. They're intertwined. Light and dark are very intertwined. But do you think that in this situation, going out and killing that person was wrong?
I think it was.
Okay. That was really
Wait, which person? Who? Killing who?
Well, both of them killing
Both of them?
Both of them killing
each other.
Not that. Both of them killing the person that attacked the people that they cared about. There's another way to go about it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I understand that, light and dark are intertwined, and your motive really tells you whether if your motive tells you you're doing something for good, but another person sees it and sees you as doing it as evil. But I feel like there's certain things and certain situations where the act is kind of just evil. Yeah, that person that they killed was evil, but them going and taking that person's life, I feel like that was evil as well, and it was wrong.
Okay.
There's no kind of there's kind of
because of the reasons as well, right?
What?
Anything because of the reasons as well, right? That
What
they
do you
took
mean?
the other person's life.
I think the reasons was revenge and wanting to getting that revenge, but I think there was another way to go about it. And I understand emotion as well, especially if it's to that extent. You may not be able to control your emotions. You need to seek out revenge right now. But I feel like that the way they went about that specific instance was wrong. I don't feel like you can I don't think you can argue a way to where it was. Do you guys feel like you can argue a way to where it was a good thing that they did?
I think they took someone out that needed to go.
No, I agree with that, but I'm just if it was real life, not a cartoon.
If it was real.
I think It's hard to say because I guess we don't know all of the actions that the boy took. I'm gonna stick to the boy for my example.
Yeah.
We don't know everything that he like tried to do to like find his sister's attackers. Maybe he did go to the police. I'm not really sure if that happened.
He said he went to the police and that they did nothing.
So he
took
did
it into his own hands.
He did go to the police and he tried to go like on that track, but nothing happened from it.
You're right.
And then even though he didn't know at the time, but there was a detective there when his sister was attacked.
Yeah.
So he didn't really have any other options.
You're right. You're right. Sometimes you got to take things in your own hand.
There's a whole gray area with this.
Yeah, it's always a gray area.
That's what makes it great.
It's never really. It kind of plays with like real life. There's never black and white really don't exist.
Yeah, stuff can't really be objective when you look at a lot of things. It's really subjective, and there's a whole lot of factors and variables that play into whether something is right or wrong, and whether you should do it or shouldn't.
Agreed. It's real life. We live in a giant gray area. Nothing's really black or white.
That's why episode 8 and 9 are one of the best episodes.
I agree. Because I feel like they were justified. I feel like they had good reason to do what they did. But I still don't think them killing those people was the right move.
I do, but
Could have just cut his arms off. Arms and legs
we gotta
off.
do the whole